So, after a long hiatus, I'm back, and unfortunately the world is gripped by a pandemic, and COVID-19 isn't helping matters. Seriously, how the fuck do people manage to buy so much junk from Amazon? Day after day after day, it's just boxes, 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 all for the same houses. But there's an almost as serious problem that pertains to this video. For you see, Star Trek Lower Decks has just begun, and it's region locked. Like it's the 1960s or something. I guess I'll just have to find a piracy site and watch it that way. So yeah, this is the latest interpretation of Star Trek. Please be better than Picard. I guess I should start with the opening, and there's almost a Futurama-like quality to it. In a parodying of the classic opening sense. Particularly Voyager's, I feel, since this first shot made me immediately flash back to Voyager's opening when I first saw it. Hey, remember that episode where Kes exposed herself to those police officers?
Ensign Devana Tindy, reporting for duty. I'm a transfer from Outpost 79.
Wait, is she an Arian? Doesn't she produce like super powerful pheromones that would cause her to brainwash the crew like an Enterprise? How is she in Starfleet? I know JJ can't make a decent film to save his life. Abrams had an Arian in Starfleet Academy, but if there's ever a conflict between Enterprise and the JJ verse, I'll side with Enterprise. So yeah, Devana meets up with Brad Boimler, which is a weird name, and Beckett Mariner, which is also a bit of a weird name. These names sound like what you get from those random character generators. I'm guessing that one of them is an orphan, and the other has an estranged relationship with one of their parents, as what seems to constantly come up on those sites. Don't ask me how I know.
Ooh, you want the tour?
Of the ship? Yes!
The nurse's office. The girls' changing room. The classroom that's always unoccupied and is usually empty. I'm prioritising places that males would usually find exciting. Are you unsatisfied? The music room. You should put the space on top of the grand piano to good use. And the holodeck.
Wow, this is a very detailed program.
You're an Arian. If you joined the Syndicate, you could have had a whole harem. Guess which race I played as in Star Trek Online.
We'll be sending construction teams down to help with the subspace comm array as soon as we load up the supplies. Ransom to Cerritos, 5 to beam up.
Well, that's the end of that episode. I look forward to never seeing these aliens again. Now we're on to the B-plot of this episode, with Sam Rutherford on a date with... You know what? I'm going to say it. Not that I can't be bothered to look up her name. He's probably going to be the Harry Kim of this show. Forever an ensign who'll fall in love with a hologram, the wrong sister, an alien going in the opposite direction, as well as other unsuitable matches. I say that because the first officer has brought an alien zombie virus back from the planet. By the way, the first officer is voiced by Jerry O'Connell. Wesley Crusher, bring him back. Back on the planet, Mariner drives away in that car that, during the filming of Nemesis, Patrick Stewart drove for a whole day without crashing. And then gave it to the stuntman who rolled it over in like a minute. And people still wonder who this Stig is. Hi, I'm Scorching in here! On the planet, Mariner and Boimler get chased by a giant angry spider, when Mariner reveals she's been there before.
Because I was here for first contact last year on the Keto before I got my ass demoted and transferred to the Cerritos. I have served on 5 ships, man. I have seen stuff.
What did she do? Who did she piss off? She comes up with a plan to save both of them that requires them to take off their uniforms. Well, there is a Klingon proverb that tells us that TNA brings views of double D proportions. Right, 7 of 9? The plan doesn't work, and the spider ends up suckling on Boimler. And the farmer asks Mariner not to phase it because it'll spoil the milk. Where the fuck do you milk a giant spider? Okay, that's obvious. But this thing? Well, soon the giant spider gets tired, and they head back up to the ship, where Devana is pumping a guy's heart by hand. I don't think that's how that works. And it turns out that the slime on Boimler is important.
Holy sh**. This substance completely neutralizes the rage effect!
Did you try reversing the polarity? Well, the cure works, and the day is saved, thanks to the Powerpuff Girls. I haven't had a chance to point this out yet, but the eyelashes on the outer edge of characters turns grey every so often. It happens on male characters, but it's more noticeable on women, with the longer lashes. And even then, it's not consistent. I noticed it at the start and here, but I'm not sure what could cause it. So that's the first episode of Lower Decks, and I like it. I don't know where the show will go in terms of story, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I think this is the best way for Star Trek to move forward. When most people think of Star Trek, they think of the times they've addressed current events, race, religion, sexism, and, to a lesser extent, sexuality and gender identity. But these days, thanks to the internet, that's a bit of a minefield. You make something about racism, people call you sexist. You address something going on in the world, people call you insensitive or say you have a political agenda, and so on. Now, much of this is my own observations, but it seems the internet has an all or nothing mentality. Sure, internet trolls are a toxic presence, but the Hollywood solution seems to be throw everyone under the bus. Which is self-defeating when no one watches your stuff. But maybe I'm thinking of this too much like a traditional Star Trek fan. Lower Decks is fine just being an episodic comedy set in space without needing to change the world. And being animated allows the show creators to make what they want without execs demanding it be more like Dark Knight or Mass Effect or meeting an explosion quota. Not all that goes boom is good. Just ask the Venga Boys. That said, I am worried that they'll Tasha Yar Davana. The episodes typically focus on Mariner and Boimler, with everyone else, like Rutherford in this episode, being part of the B-plot. Heck, I wrote this after episode 3 aired, and much of the secondary cast had had more screen time than Davana. So I'm worried that that'll be a sign of things to come. That at some point they'll think that they've run out of things to do with her, or Noelle Wells will want more and end up leaving for bigger and better things. Like Denise Crosby. The thing is, I think there's a lot they could do with her. I mean, in the lore, Orion society is materialistic, they still conduct slavery, and the women are in charge. Positive attributes. So I think there are cultural differences that could lead to interesting plots or funny moments, just like there could have been with Tasha Yar's upbringing, that never were. And I'm worried that another character will get the Armis treatment without realising their potential.